What is good, YouTube? This is the Hype Texan, and there will be no reaction on this particular video. This is going to be more about just life as an American as we know it right now. There are a few things that I want to touch on. If you've seen some of my previous reactions, like when I reacted to Adam Calhoun's The Patriot, you probably figured out that I'm pretty conservative. Actually, I'm really conservative. Um, I'm one of those that I spend more time in Facebook jail than I actually do on Facebook because of the fact that I am conservative, or that I get fact checked over something stupid. Um, Anyways, the whole point that I wanted to come out and say is, we have a lot of news coming here lately. We're a month and a half away from a presidential election, and it's time to stop the stupid. I mean, it's time for the adults to come into the room and put the kids to bed because they are running reckless, and no one is stopping them. Police are being targeted. I am a huge back the blue guy. Um, I do believe that all lives matter, which includes Black lives, but not the organization of Black Lives Matter because of the fact of their hidden agenda, which they are just straight up Marxist. And this is not a conspiracy theory. They've actually come out and said that they are Marxist. So, if it was about just Black lives, then fine. Let's go protest and walk the streets of Chicago where these kids are being killed. I'll stand right there with you. But to come out with a narrative that cops are bad because of a few incidents, which I look at a case by case, I never lump them together. Um, cannot remember the name of this last guy the one who was shot in the back 7 times, and then Trump and then Biden went to visit the town in Kenosha. Blake, I think was his name, convicted rapist. That's what I know him as. Um, who was actually violating a restraining order and then went for a knife and got shot. Guess what? If I was a cop and I was there, regardless of whether you were white, black, Chinese, Muslim, it doesn't really matter who you are. If you reach for a knife, even me not being a cop, if you reach for a knife and I'm in the vicinity and you're acting irrational, good chance you're going to get shot. Just the truth of the matter. This week, I think it was Friday, Ruth Ginsburg died. I'm completely sorry for her family. Death is tragic no matter who the person is. Couldn't disagree with her more on pretty much every topic she ever had her hands in. But, prayers for her family because it's tough to go through. But of course, first thing, there were no. This lady led a wonderful life, from the left because, I mean, that's pretty much who she supported. She was very biased in a lot of her decision making, and the very first thing the Democrats do is say that her dying wish was that she not be replaced on the Supreme Court until a new president. I seriously doubt that because I've seen it firsthand, people on their deathbeds, and the last thing they're thinking about is work or politics. It's just not how it goes. Her last words were probably the fact that she loved her husband, she loved her family, and so let's just stop the bullshit because that's all it is. And now you got, let's see, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and that bartender chick that nobody can stand who just talks a lot but never says anything, at least constructive. Few others. I was trying to think of, there was another one that I remember hearing from, or even like Juan Williams on Fox News. I heard him talking his nonsense, which, it's Juan. If you've ever seen the show The Five, you know who Juan is. If you're conservative, all you want to do is flip him out of that chair because his takes are just so blatantly stupid. It's not even funny. Um, but we got to put a stop to the violence in the streets. We have to put a stop. And our elected leaders are not doing it. It's not a federal thing. Trump knows that. Our city officials know that. But for some reason, the morons in these cities and these large counties that are connected to cities, people just keep voting in these power-hungry liberals who don't care about the people of the places they represent. All they care about is the power that they have. So take that to note, take that to heart. Because if it keeps going the way it's going, real Americans, people who actually love this country, I'm not talking about citizenship, I'm talking about people who actually love the country. They're not going to put up with it anymore. You're going to get a lot more Rittenhouses out on the streets. That was a 17-year-old kid took out 3. Well, he killed 2 and severely damaged one of them's arm. But what did you expect was going to happen? That we're just going to let y'all run through the streets and create chaos and burn buildings down? You thought that was going to be an option? It's gone on for over 100 days in Portland now. I mean, Minnesota, and California, basically where these little punks who think they're tough, they hang out in these areas, are surrounded by their own, but they're not as tough when they're out there on their own, surrounded by people who have opposing views. They're only tough in crowds. There was a word for that when I was in high school. We called those people bitches, because that's basically what they were. They bitched up. I'm not going to fight you one-on-one. I'm going to bring 7 of my friends to fight against just one person. So we're tired of it. Americans are tired. We want to get back to life. We want the bars back open. We want the restaurants where you don't have to... What's with this walking through a mask and then sitting down and taking off the mask to eat? What is that solving? What is that helping? Other than just looking stupid. Which I never do. I have my restaurants around here where I live that don't care about that. And I walk straight in, and those are the people that get my money. Those are the people that get my business. Because they're not being stupid about it. So, I had what I had to say. I didn't want to make this too long because I can go on rants for hours about this, especially when I've been drinking. I have not been drinking today. It's too early in the day for that. So anyways, this is the Hype Texan saying stay cool. For all the people down here on the coast where I'm at, y'all stay safe. We have just a wall of tropical storms, possible hurricanes fixing to hit all of us. So stay safe out there and have a little faith. We're gonna get through this. These little temper tantrums that the left are pulling, they're not going to last forever, but we have to have a voice. We have to stand up and say stop. And until we do that, it's not going to. So band together, show your voice, because they're all talking. I guarantee you when you put your chips on the table, they'll fold. So this is the Hype Texan saying peace out and stay safe and God bless.